Hello, I want to welcome you again to this Adult Fast Track. This is going to be your orientation before we meet either on Thursday, before we meet on Thursday. I'm going to do this as a general orientation, so I may utilize this for other adult fast tracks you're taking me for introduction to business. They work the same thing. The only thing that may change is our virtual or face-to-face meeting date. But otherwise, everything else is the same. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. You're going to go into your Blackboard course. I already opened up the shell last week when we had our major orientation to the program that you were admitted in, which was HR program. So you're going to come in here and you're going to find, and the one you are in here is Management 227. And you see, if you have other classes, you have a bunch of classes that you'll be teaching showing up. So find the one you have. This Management here, it's the Fast Track. You click on that. 1 second. And remember, I told you to update your profile up here into Blackboard. Some of you already done that. I want to change from a blank silhouette to a picture. So the first thing you do, you're going to click on here, and you're going to go into Settings, and you're going to go Personal Information. I'm going real quickly here. I already got the thing. Edit Personal. Oh, here it is. Upload an avatar, a picture. Okay, and then you can put your own picture in here, whatever you want in here. So when you're doing the discussion board, you at least know who you're talking to instead of a blank silhouette with a name. This gives it more personalized, and this is part of the cohort and part of business. How do I get that face-to-face or that non-verbal communication that I would have been having in a face-to-face class? Okay, so I'm just going to cancel that, get out of there. Okay, let me go back into Blackboard. Alright, hang on a second. Oh, here's my Blackboard, so I got to keep on going. Alright, so now I'm going to come into my class. This is the class we're going to talk. It's already been out there. You know you're in my class. You have everything in here. What I'm going to do this time, I'm going to go into the student mode to make sure everything is working for you. I think I opened up everything, so let's go. I'm going to come in here and, okay, so I'm going to go into student mode. Now I see the same thing you do when you line up. You come in here, you have my class, you have my face, you have Pearson's, access code. The first thing that pops up, and you could always change that yourself by your settings and coming in here, how you want your home page. I'll leave it on this. So you have your link, and here's all your My Pearson Lab homework, assignment, and exams are all going to be into this, program here. When you purchase the ebook, through either to Harper Bookstore or online. We already, some of you already have that. The first homework assignment you're going to do, you're going to come in here and you're going to do homework assignment. I'll see if it'll show me. Okay, continue new browser. I did that to get you out of here. Okay, so here's all your homework assignments and the due dates on here. And here's when they're all due as the homework. So you know you could start these ahead of the class that's due. When you look into your syllabi, when I provided you the syllabi, no matter what class you're taking me for, the syllabi, I had all the weeks that we will be doing. You have the syllabi in the Blackboard, so you go in there and say, oh, here's this week. So if you want to work ahead, you could do a lot of these are open, but you have to do the due dates. You miss the due dates, you lose the points. What I set up for this class, only for this class, since it's an accelerated adult fast class, I basically allowed you, when you go through some of these for the exams, you get 2 tries on the exams when you do the exam. Do 1 try and do a second try on here. Okay, so you should be doing okay on here. The exam's always got 2 tries, and these are unlimited times. You could do them till the due date. I think I set it up, if you're late, I take 10% off every a week you're late automatically. So even if you didn't do them, go back in there, and they'll update the points inside the Blackboard course management system. Okay? Alright, so we, and if you go in here, I don't know if you have it, but I think in here you could go back in here, you could go back to the home page. Remember, I'm in, okay, I'll just leave it out here, okay? Load it, so I'm back into my Blackboard. Let me go back in here. This link was load a new browser. Okay, let me just exit this preview. It does have some limitation when I'm in the student mode. Okay, there we go. I'm just trying to find my Blackboard. Okay, so I'll go back in here. Just so you understand, that's how you do it. Remember, because when I went into student mode, I basically went into the publisher. So if you have any problems with my lab, your first thing you have to do, you're going to come in here, and they have I have my lab instructions someplace in here, and these homework assignments you don't see because they're not required for this section. Okay, other assignments if you see it. So you'll have some information on how to contact my lab through Pearson, and they'll give you an incident number. If they can't resolve it, then you send me an email, say, Dr. George, I contact my lab, I'm having some issues with the connections and not showing something, here's my incident number. I will upgrade it to my contact with Pearson. You have to go to their help desk first. Don't come and say, it doesn't work, I don't know how it works, I can't help you. It's the software outside. Harper's using the book, the Pearson software. They're very intuitive. They help 99% of the students, and those 1%, you give the incident number, they're going to help it. They'll send it to me. Also tag me on there, and I will forward that up to the next level, and then he will take care of it, try to resolve your issue and contact you directly. But you have to go to their help desk first because they could resolve 99% of the issues you would have. Okay? If you have a Blackboard issue, Blackboard Collaborate, then you go into Blackboard. There's a help desk in there, and it's Harper's Blackboard. It's their help things right here at Blackboard. They'll help you with that. Okay? All right, so you have in there, you have your virtual groups. I'll set them up, to, not this week, the next week. You have your concept mind maps, print them out. You always have to see if they're working. Excuse me. Print them out for each chapter. These are 217. I've been updating them. I've just been changing some of them, making them a little better, maybe reducing them a little bit inside. Print them out, and they are your outline for that chapter. Read the chapter, ebooks, and then add in stuff that I don't have. I want to give it to the second tier. You could add more information, and the rationale for that is for you to learn. By you writing, instead of just typing it out, you writing, you're stimulating another senses. The more senses you could utilize while you're learning, reading, audio, visual, writing, you have a higher probability of retaining it from short-term memory into long-term memory. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't understand it. I've taken enough classes. Remember, because when I'm doing for business, you're going for HR, you have to understand the human nature. You have to understand that individual. You have to see those nonverbal communication. They won't tell you everything because they're maybe intimidated by you or they may be embarrassed, but you could pick up by the nonverbal cues. Okay, so you have those concept maps, add on to them. Mine is to help you learn the subject matter in an accelerated format. Okay, so you have that. You have your weekly discussion. Now, all of these here, you could go in directly. How I set this class up, I set it up by weekly assignment. If you click on weekly assignments, oh, I got to get rid of week 1, week 2. Geez, I got to turn all these off. Not available, not available. You don't, oh, I'm not in the student mode, sorry. Let me go back in here. That's why you saw all those things. Jeez, I forgot because I got kicked out. Look, if you know I don't edit, I just go forward. So you're going to find everything you want in the weekly assignments. When you come in here, right now this is the only week that's open. So you click on this. This is a folder. That means it's more thing. After this week is done, this week will be turned off and you'll see week 2. You still may be able to see something in some of these other discussion tabs, links that I created, but all your work is here. That means that week is done. Don't cry, don't whine, pick up and move. You're into business. Most of you are in business. You know, something happened, Murphy's Law, Mrs. Murphy, whatever, it happens. Now you just got to pick up, go forward. Don't worry about the past, go looking forward so you don't fall further behind. We'll resolve the issues later, okay? So you click on here. Here's your thing. This one here, it's a discussion board. And you see it's got a tag, so you can come right directly in here. You introduce yourself. Hi, my name is George. This one here is a virtual classroom. We meet every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. You'll click on this. I'll show you this, and you're going to go into Blackboard. It puts you right away in here into Blackboard Collaborate. You could go directly, Blackboard Collaborate, and then when you click on these, see this down arrow. I want you to experiment, whether you're in my class or a training class at work or some other software. The whole thing you have to do is learn to move around, like you go into a new office or a new building. Oh, what's in this cupboard here? What's over here? What do I have here? Look at this as an adventure. I enjoy this. Okay, so if I click this on here, it has all your virtual classrooms. You click on here, you're automatically in here. We're going to Blackboard Collaborate like you learned for the orientation. I will have one that's going to be a Webex. That's just to expose you. Some of my colleagues like using Webex. It's also certified by Harper College. Webex is their corporate meeting room. I just want you to see the difference. It's very similar to Blackboard Collaborate, but it gives you that more of the corporate if you're having virtual meetings outside. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so you're coming in here, and remember, you always hit go back to the weekly assignments. That's where I want you all. If you're not sure, I know some of you, this is new for you. You're coming back to school. Just go into the weekly assignment. You introduce yourself. We did that. My lab homework, that takes you to that homework page. You go in here. How to update your avatar. I just went through this, but here's a video if you forgot. Okay, my mind map. This gives me a link here to my mind maps over here. Weekly mind maps. Yeah, where do I have it? I have it on this course here, mind map. This means there's a link. It just goes in here. Doesn't do anything. One-stop shopping, okay? PowerPoints, again, these are the publisher's PowerPoints. You could get them when you go into My Lab, go into the home page. You have videos, you have practices, you have flashcards. You have more than you need to be successful. I am your facilitator. I can't teach you anything. It's how much you want to learn. Now, people are going to say, I'm going to HR. Why do I have to understand business? Yeah, good point. You're HR. You have to understand how an engineer thinks, a manager of an engineer, what kind of a person an engineer skills he or she needs to fit into the engineering department and then to fit into the culture of the company. So I have to understand engineering. A lot of companies, medium-sized companies and up, even smaller, you're going to HR. Your first 6 months, you're going to have an orientation. They're going to pop you into different divisions, different disciplines in finance, in accounting, in sales, in marketing, and you'll be there for a month or so. Just kind of get the feeling to understand what people are thinking. We all have the same objective for the organization, but we all have our own lenses we look through, our own language we talk to, our own little subgroup that we belong with this corporation. That's why you need to take this class to see how all the pieces fit together. Whew. All right, I just threw that in there, all right? Now you have all my lectures. Again, you can see my lectures. My lectures are basically, I create them in this program and I save them into a YouTube. You could go into YouTube to look at them, because if you your smartphone, just go Dr. George and put my lecture, and you could find my channel. You could subscribe to that if you want, or you could find the lectures here. And these lectures are longer lectures, but you could have the closed caption if you wanted to. YouTube, they're 99% correct, except Dr. Mochocki or Mochocki. That's fine. I could adjust it. I don't want to spend the time on that because I keep on updating. Most of you that you're looking at it, if you're having a visual or hearing or something else and use the closed caption, you're already in social media. You're already utilizing these tools because that's what you need for your employment. You make those adjustments, okay? All right, but they're out there for you. They're not required. It's another thing. It's a supplement to what the publisher provides you in their homepage in My Lab. Look at that. I think I might do a video down the road, but not in this one. Okay, social responsibility. This is just what the first 2 chapters. It talks about ethics, corporate response, just more information for you. Remember, here's what you have to do. When you have these are basically printouts. I'm going to HR. I would have a file, an electronic file, either in the cloud that you want for work, or for Harper, it's got a cloud. You can put the stuff in there. And then what you do for HR. Oh, this is interesting. I may need it. the information or resources you're using. You're going for one course here in HR resources. They will tell you the HRM management side. You get a certificate. There's a lot of other resources that when you need it for a small, larger company, it gives you idea. Somebody already created it. How can I modify this and utilize this? I'm not stealing it. It's either open source or I purchase it. I'm part of the program. And how do I utilize this for my needs here for my company? That's what you do. That's your job. That's why I hired you. That's why you're in charge of HR or you're an HR rep. You're coming up with ideas, suggestion. If I wanted to do it myself, I wouldn't have an HR department. I would do it myself. Some of you, you're working for small companies. You're an HR, you're a manager. You have different hats. That's okay. Makes your resume look good. Okay? Alright, so that's everything else. Okay, the other thing you have. So you have in there a weekly assignment. Always check my grades. If I have in here, here's your running grade total. You will all introduce yourself. You have that. I think you have up in here. I don't have anything in here because I'm a test student. But sometimes you'll see you'll have you'll have your points. You'll have an A, and then at the bottom you'll have, for lack of better words, once you get some points, you will have a percentage. I'm looking at the percentage. 90 to 100 is an A, and vice versa. I'm just glancing up here because I got a Webex meeting I have to do at 10 o'clock. So I'm trying to do these recordings first. You see how you're doing being professional? A lot of you are looking at all the work they have to be like, my God, there's so much work, what I'm going to be doing. You do a little. I got a little time, I do a little bit here. I do a little discussion board. Okay, so you have that. So we're in here, your weekly assignments, my lab homeworks, or Collaborate, virtual groups I set up. Look at this Canvas project. You come in here, it basically gives you a template. You'll be working as a group, putting it in here. I have a video, and remember I talked to this in face-to-face class, doesn't make a difference, the same template. Why reinvent the wheel? You get the gist, and we get the narrative PowerPoint. This is either done by an individual. Some of my online classes, they do it individually. Since this is a cohort, adult fast track, you're starting off a little differently than you would. Normally you would be in a face-to-face with me for 4 hours on Thursday or whatever date, and then you meet your group and you work together, you work in a group. But because of what's going on in the environment that we can't control, we flipped it over to a virtual cohort, a blended class. So you're meeting here just for 2 hours, but then I'll have a work site. I'll create something in Blackboard, little work groups there where you could meet and you could have your own discussion like we're having here, but in a virtual, and you could share files, you could talk about it like in the classroom, only in a virtual. Mine is to get you to work as a team. In business, it's all networking, working as a group. People you may not like, may disagree on their political points of view. I got election coming in there. I don't really care. Their politics, their religion, their personal beliefs are outside the realm of the organization for the mission. You go out there, you have a lot of mission companies are socially responsible. They give to a lot of organizations. They don't care. They give to both all parties that make sense for the mission and the people that work for them. So part of this is how I work together, and you'll be working together in a virtual classroom. Going forward, once the pandemic ends, COVID-19, whatever they're calling it now, it ends. Everything ends. I'm old. I've been through a lot of stuff. It ends, trust me. And then you're back into regular face-to-face. Now, because you're used to this virtual, you go, you know what? I don't want to spend that. Maybe this opens up. So in business, I didn't anticipate this. It happened, but now how do I bring it in and say, this could be a good way of doing training. This is another way of doing training. They come in there doing orientation. I may be able to do some interviews online like this, and then later I could bring them in if they make the cut. All right. So we have that. So you check your grades. You've got your bookstore links. You got a calendar. It tells you everything. I want you to play around with what you have in there. You got your grades. You've got this. You got your virtual group, the Canvas project, course materials, my lectures, different resources. Okay, if you click on here, let's see what I have in here. Student resources. I'll have to adjust that. No problem. All right. So I'm going to go out of the student mode here. I'm going to go back into the regular mode, and I think you have everything on here. Your first, let's see, let me just go real quickly on our weekly assignment. Let's go this way. I'm going to just come in here into the discussion group, right? Let's see how we're doing on discussion. Ask me, submit. I had a previous discussion, so I'm looking at introduce yourself. I had so far out of this class, and I think I have, this is a class of 12 or something. It's a smaller class. I won't know till it starts Monday. I only have 4 people in here with the discussion. I'll send an email, and I'll send this link, and you have it. So again, what I wanted you to do, play around with this. This is your first week. Go and do some of the homework. See what you have in here. This is your quick orientation. Just click everything's open. And then when we start Monday, I will have like maybe a quick overview. I'll add into some discussions. You got some kind of a question, ask in the discussion. I might not be able to respond to it right away because I have other classes. I'll try to, because we start where we're going to meet, keep those thoughts in mind when we meet Thursday in our virtual classroom, so we have something to talk about. I'll do a little lecturing. I'll talk about open-end. It'll be just a quick, like a quick overview to make you comfortable. And then next week we already have the teams and everything else, and I'll show you how to look up for the teams, and I'll set them all up for you. All right. So again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki. You can call me Dr. George. You can call me George. Make yourself comfortable. When we're outside in face-to-face in the main campus, wherever. Just address me by my title. Inside the classroom, I don't have a problem. Okay. Again, welcome again, and let me see how many minutes I have in here. That wasn't it. Recording 21 minutes. This is perfect. This is your orientation. Again, welcome to the old fast track we covered before. I try to talk a little bit slower. It's still early in the morning, and I'll see you later. Stay safe and play around, and make sure you do your discussion and respond to other people. I'm not going to click this on because I don't want any names or anything on here, but we're good because I'll do this as a YouTube. If I do it in Blackboard Collaborate, I open it up because it's only for us within Blackboard Collaborate, very controlled. But since I'm using this, just so you understand, it's I'm doing this as an orientation because I utilize this orientation in different platforms I teach. Different adult fast tracks. It gives the same thing. Whether you're taking me for organization behavior, taking me for finance, I may zero in a little bit if I deem it necessary, but this tells you the same thing. All my blackboards are all the same. I mean, similarly laid out, and most Harper students or adult fast track will have the same buttons, the same kind of rationale. Oops, I keep on talking. Bye.